If the opposition makes the mistake of representing Peter, I will vote Tinubu just to prevent Peter Obi from emerging as president.
Human rights activist and lawyer Deji Adeyanju appeared on Channels Television's program The Morning Brief last Friday to respond to a defamation lawsuit filed against him by Peter Obi, the former Labour Party presidential candidate. Responding to the defamation suit, Adeyanju doubled down on his criticisms of Obi, stating that he would rather vote for President Bola Tinubu than support Obi as the opposition's presidential candidate in 2027. He asserted his readiness to face Obi in court and dismissed the lawsuit threat as an attempt to silence legitimate critique. Adeyanju accused Obi of fostering a toxic political culture, referring to Obi's fervent online supporters, the obedience, as a mob intolerant of criticism and prone to online harassment.
We cannot have a situation where people, a man who leads a mob that terrorizes people online, that cannot tolerate criticism, that call people all sorts of, anybody that does not support their candidate is an enemy of Nigeria.
He argued that democracy requires tolerance for dissent and questioned Obi's democratic credentials, contrasting them with activists who have made personal sacrifices for Nigeria's democracy. Adeyanju emphasized that his statements about Obi are truthful and part of a necessary effort to sanitize the political discourse. The feud between Peter Obi and Deji Adeyanju has escalated over months, primarily along the lines of contrasting views on political leadership and opposition politics in Nigeria. Obi's legal team sent Adeyanju a demand for retraction and apology, alleging that Adeyanju's statements on social media were false, malicious, and defamatory, designed to damage Obi's reputation domestically and internationally. The demand is contained in a 5-page letter dated 26 August 2025. The letter is from Peter Obi's lawyers acting on his express instructions, addressing defamatory statements Adeyanju allegedly made on social media platforms like X. Specific allegations targeted include claims that Obi is corrupt, diverted Anambra State funds to family businesses, attempted bribery during a private meeting, and is a religious bigot using religion for political campaigning. Obi's legal team demands that Adeyanju delete all defamatory posts and issue a full public apology on his social media and in 3 national newspapers. The letter warns the failure to comply within 7 days would lead to legal action seeking aggravated damages and an injunction against further defamatory publications and legal costs. The legal notice stresses Obi's consistent stance on unity and inclusiveness, contrasting with the alleged defamatory and reckless falsehoods Adeyanju published. Adeyanju has responded by mocking the threat and expressing readiness to face Obi in court, denying the accusations and criticizing Obi's aides for defaming his wife. Reactions have started to trickle in from the obedient camp, and there seems to be a consensus demand. Deji must show proof of his accusations. Aisha Yusufu, a top radical and human rights activist, wrote on her X page on Friday. Barrister Deji Adeyanju has repeatedly said that he has evidence to show that Mr. Peter Obi is a fraud and that Mr. Obi should sue him. This is a lawyer speaking. As a supporter of Mr. Peter Obi, I am interested in the evidence the barrister has. I would not be one to give support to anyone that is fraudulent, so this case will offer me and millions of others the opportunity to have access to the evidence Barrister Deji has, so we know whether to continue our support for Mr. Peter Obi or withdraw it. Mr. Peter Obi going to court is a civil thing to do. where one is defamed, especially from a lawyer, then one should go to court. If Mr. Peter Obi had used machinery of the state to get Barrister Deji arrested and thrown into jail like many of the dictators we fight are doing, then I would be leading a free Deji Adeyanju and calling out Mr. Peter Obi. As for now, let's have the evidence. End of quote. Another obedient Nelly B tweeted, "He who alleges must show proof. It is not a matter of visiting media houses and making all sorts of noise on social media to elicit sympathy or empathy. Our constitution guarantees freedom of cho, but it does not guarantee freedom after cho, depending on the content of the cho. Deji has a window to apologize or show proof in court." End of quote. Well-known journalist and writer Ike Abonyi has said that the claims made by activist and lawyer Deji Adeyanju are not true. Adeyanju had said that Peter Obi tried to buy his support during the 2023 elections. Abonyi, who was at the meeting between Adeyanju and Obi before the elections, said firmly that no such offer was made. In a statement released in Abuja on Friday, Abonyi called Adeyanju's claims false, misleading, and unfair. He said he did not want to speak against a friend, but he could not stay silent when lies were being spread. Abonyi explained that he was with Adeyanju throughout the 3-hour meeting with Obi. He said Obi only shared a personal and political story and no money was mentioned or offered. He said he was shocked to hear Deji's claims. Abonyi added that he had privately warned Adeyanju several times before about sharing false stories about Obi. He told Adeyanju to stick to the truth and protect his own reputation. He also reminded Adeyanju that he had once publicly supported Obi as the best candidate for president and even encouraged him to leave his previous party to run for president. Abonyi said it is fine for Adeyanju to change his mind or stop supporting Obi, but it should not be based on lies. Charly Boy, a famous Nigerian entertainer and activist, has strongly responded to Deji Adeyanju's recent allegations against Peter Obi. Speaking on social media, Charly Boy criticized Adeyanju, accusing him of making false and misleading claims just to gain attention and please his supporters. Charly Boy wrote in Pidgin English, translated, "Deji Adeyanju, you have taken your mouth to speak where it does not belong. You keep spreading lies and nonsense about Peter Obi just to trend and please those who pay you. Don't you feel any shame? Peter Obi is one of the few Nigerians who still gives hope for a better Nigeria, yet you have sold yourself for 30 pieces of silver. We will not allow you to drag Obi into gutter. If you have no respect, at least show some sense. This reckless and irresponsible behavior may get you into legal trouble." End of quote. Now, Deji Adeyanju made several allegations against Peter Obi. But are these allegations true? As time is of the essence, addressing a few of them will suffice. On 21st August 2025, Deji wrote on his X, "Peter Obi can only be president of the obedience on social media. You see that my one vote, I will rather give it to Tinubu than the leader of the mob. Political extremists who do not want Nigerians to criticize their presidential candidate have no place in our polity." End of quote. Now, let's explore the veracity of this claim. Peter Obi, often regarded as a known or embryo politician by many in the political class, made a remarkable debut in the 2023 presidential election, which was his first ever contest for the presidency. Against great odds, Obi achieved historic successes by winning two of Nigeria's most politically important states, Lagos and Abuja, areas that had traditionally leaned towards the ruling party. Beyond these, he won a total of 12 states nationwide. Despite the 2023 election being widely criticized for evidence of rigging and irregularities that favored the ruling All Progressives Congress, Obi's performance showed that his appeal went far beyond just his core base on social media, so-called obedience. Securing such widespread electoral support demonstrates clearly that Peter Obi is far more than just a social media phenomenon. He is a formidable national political figure whose influence cuts across diverse Nigerian demographics. Therefore, the claim by Deji that Peter Obi can only be president of the obedience on social media is outright false. The election results, backed by data from the Independent National Electoral Commission, confirm Obi's substantial real-world support that transcends online popularity, highlighting his legitimacy as a major contender in Nigerian politics. Then, another important claim in Deji's post is that Peter Obi is a leader of the mob. A dictionary defines mob as a large crowd of people, especially one that is disorderly and intent on causing trouble or violence. The claim that Peter Obi is a leader of a mob called the Obedience and the political extremism exists in his circle is completely false. The vast majority of Obedience are millions of Nigerians from all over the country who are disillusioned with the current system. They are not concentrated in one part of Nigeria or limited to any single tribe or religion. Rather, they come from all regions, ethnicities, and faiths. These citizens are not a mob, but rather a large, peaceful group united by a shared awareness of common problems facing Nigeria. They have organized themselves into a powerful political force based on principles of accountability and change. Peter Obi did not choose the Obedience. They chose him because they see in him the hope for a new Nigeria, one free from corruption and poor governance. As for the claim that political extremism is present within this group, it is untrue. Peter Obi has repeatedly condemned violence and abuse carried out in his name. He made clear that those who attack other politicians or use physical violence are not his true followers, nor representative of his movement.
You're trying to remove a situation that has been there for years. What we need is to remain calm and persistent in saying this is wrong. So for me, even the verbal ones on social media should not be there. We don't need to have any form of abuse or accusation, false accusations, anything. For me, it should not exist. Physical or verbal, social media or otherwise, not the issue of any form of verbal attack or physical attack, anything. I urge those who are my supporters, please do not engage in that.
Therefore, the allegation of political extremism is a false argument designed to discredit a legitimate and growing political movement in Nigeria. Deji's attacks on Peter Obi appear driven less by genuine political conviction and more by a troubled past and personal ambitions. Deji was once embroiled in a murder case while a student at Bayero University, Kano, where he reportedly spent 4 years in prison before being acquitted, a fact defended pro bono by lawyer Festus Keyamo. This dark chapter tarnishes his credibility as a principled activist. Moreover, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike revealed that Adeyanju once begged him to be appointed National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. When Wike refused, Deji turned away sulking, later positioning himself as a civil society activist.
I saw one young man, they call him Adanju, from Kogi State. He's also part of civil society. This was a young boy who came to me, that he went to deputy, he went to National Probation Secretary of PDP. I said no. Yes, I said no. Yes, I said Wungi, and he was not. Yes, I have no regret about it. Then suddenly became a civil society activist.
These revelations suggest that Deji's current relentless criticism of Peter Obi is fueled by personal grievances and failed political aspirations rather than sincere ideological differences or commitment to Nigeria's progress. This context is crucial for understanding the roots of his unfounded and spiteful allegations. This is Coach Raphael reporting for DDM. If you love this video, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments, share this video, and subscribe to DDM TV.